Hello and welcome to Favorite Rugby on Favorite Sports for today's preview. England versus Fiji. A very interesting game. Could we see Fiji go into the semi-finals? Are we going to see what has been built, one of the worst England sides in recent times, sneak their way into semi-final? A very interesting team selection by Borthwick. Not one that a lot of England fans are happy with. And to be fair, I can understand why. For Fiji, history beckons for them, doesn't it? After beating Australia, getting through to the quarterfinals, it's already been a bit of a fairy tale World Cup. And this is probably the best opportunity they're ever going to have, really, to get to a semi-final because it's not a great England side. It's a side that Fiji can beat. Although I thought that Fiji, obviously going down to Portugal last week, will have done their confidence a lot of bad. I think that they'll be feeling a bit nervous and anxious. But if they can just stick to playing the way they've been playing the last few months, they've beaten England. So they've actually beat England. Back in August. So it's a Fiji side that are not to be trifled with. In terms of the teams, before we do that, please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. We'll talk the England side, and Owen Farrell at 10 is the big call, and the captaining obviously. But so that's going to be one we're going to talk about in a little bit. But in the front row, no surprise, it is again Jamie George and the ever-present Dan Cole, who brings in so much experience. You then got Mario Toji and Ollie Chester in the second row. Courtney Laws, Tom Currie, and Ben Earl are the loose trio. It's a good pack. It's a solid pack. Billy Pola off the bench. We'll look to add a bit of impact, but I'm impressed with Ben Earl rather, and Courtney Law is absolutely world class. Ellis Genge, I'd like to see more of him, to be honest. I think that the best players are made for the big stages, and I think he's had a bit of a quiet tournament. I think tomorrow will be a game that somebody like him really needs to sort of stand up there. Alex Mitchell will partner Owen Farrell. George Ford drops down to the bench. I think that's a dreadful decision. I can't understand how you can even begin to think about not starting George Ford. You've then got Elliot Daly and Johnny May as your two wings. In the centres, Mari Tuilagi shifts into the inside centre and he's next to Joe Marchant at outside centre. Marcus Smith will get his first ever start at fullback. Again, why would you be doing his first ever international start at fullback in a quarterfinal? He's only made his transition to 15 this World Cup. Before that, he's been an out and out 10. So, strange decision there. And then if you look at the bench, it is Theo Dan, Joe Marler, Carl Sinclair as a replacement front row. Still hadn't get onto the park last week. I don't think he'll be feeling too confident at the moment. You then got George Martin and Billy Vinipola as your forward replacements. Danny Kerr next to George Ford and Ollie Lawrence. Good players to be able to bring on. Still think that Ford has to be starting for me. If we look at Fiji, in the front row, it is Iraqi Maui, Tavita Ikalavira, and Luka Talji. And I think they can have this England front row a bit of a go. It's a big pack, Fiji. They're always going to have a big pack, aren't they? And I think if they can get through the first couple of scrums and sort of settle their nerves a little bit, then I think they'll be all right. And I think if you match England up front, we know they're going to kick a lot, for example. But if you match them up front and don't let them in the ascendancy, I think that I think they're going to struggle. Or any team really struggles if you do that. It'll be interesting to see how that sort of front tree does sort of come together. And the second row, it is Asura Nasir and Albert Tuasira. And then the back row, we've got Lakima Taji Kevalu, Levani Boccia, and Vilami Mata. We all know that Boccia is the man, isn't he? He's the one to watch. Absolutely sensational player. Brilliant skill set. Gets around the park. Workhorse of a player. He's their trump card, if you ask me. He is the player that, if he has a good game tomorrow, I think Fiji could get the job done. The number 9 will be Frank Lamani, who will partner Villamani Batito as a halfback pairing. Obviously, very important players, those two. Someone like a Frank Lamani's really got to take charge of the game and organize things and direct that Fiji pack. And then Batito needs to just do what he does, really, and just remain calm and needs to have a good night with the boot as well. Semi Radradra, by the way, is on the left wing. And then makes space of Vinua Habasi on the other wing. In the centres, Joshua Tuasova and the captain, Wasia Nakalevu, who had a bit of a moment of madness last week, but is a really, really good player. And then at fullback, Ilasa Juasisi. Off the bench then for Fiji, it is Samuel Matavesi, Penny Ravi, Masaka Dodge in the front row replacements. You've then got Meli Derinlaga, Vilivi Miramira, Simeone Caravoli, Nasefi Masi, and Sereli Makala, who close out the 23. If we look at the team, there are 10 players in the Fiji starting 15 that played against and beat England. So lots of players will have known, will be part of that and will have that confidence. So they've also got 3 try scorers in the 23 from that actual game. So there's a lot of um, There's a lot of experience of beating England in the side. Very recent experience, yes, but yes. Um, those are the two teams. What are your score predictions? I want to know what they are down in the comments below. Please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven. I'll chat to you soon.